True lovers, if choosing romantic partners was like ordering at a restaurant, some of y'all would keep ordering the same dish that gave you food poisoning last time. But hey, maybe heartbreak goes well with the side of denial. I don't know. Hi, I'm Haim with Beloved Media, and today we'll chat about the juncture between the wisdom of the Tao Te Ching and your love life. I'm passionate about blending ancient spiritual teachings with modern heartache and helping you not swipe right on another emotional lesson disguised as a soulmate. If you stick around till the end of this video, I promise to give you 3 practical tips for your dating life based on this ancient verse. Now, I have been around longer than I want to admit. At the age of 49, 48, I found myself right before the pandemic of 2020 erupted with a shattered vision of what in the world I was up to up until that point. With 3 failed marriages, 3 divorces, multiple instances of choosing the wrong partner for me, and obviously I was not the right partner for them, just making a lot of bad decisions despite of my good intentions for my own life and for anybody around me. It was just like a train wreck. And beginning of 2020, right around the beginning of the pandemic, I realized that if I'm not going to figure it out, I'm just gonna keep getting stuck in the same vicious cycle of poor choices, romantically speaking, bad choices in partners, ending up with narcissists as partners, or just lazy, or just entitled. If I'm not gonna do something different, either I'm gonna be stuck in that vicious cycle, or I'm just gonna give up, like maybe some of you guys given up on finding a true love soulmate, true love relationship. And from that moment on, I went on a spree of what I call shadow work, spree of introspective experiences with a lot of focus on this wisdom, the Tao Te Ching, the 81 verses / poems from 2,600 years ago written by Lao Tzu, and decided, what if I could squeeze whatever wisdom juice I can from this ancient scripture and use it for my own life and maybe make better decisions. 18 months later, I met my best friend, the love of my life, my ultimate soulmate, Rachel. We got married shortly after, and I never looked back. I cannot even start to describe to you how blissfully different it is from everything I've experienced before and everything that anybody told me that was even possible. I remember right before several months before I met Rachel, I described it to one of my very good friends, what it is that I'm looking for. I said, I want somebody who is interested in the same spirituality and spiritual principles that I am, interested in living a purposeful living, interested in just being generous and kind, able to be generous and kind. And he looked at me and he said, Haim, that person does not exist. Thankfully, I proved him wrong. But he wasn't far off, was he? How many of you feel that that is true, that such person doesn't even exist for you guys? Well, let's see if we can change that. If you stick around till the end of this video, I will gift you 3 practical tips for your dating life based on this ancient verse number 10. But before we dive in, true lovers, go ahead and tap that like button like it's the universe affirming your healing journey. And subscribe so we can keep growing together. Verse of the day, Tao Te Ching, verse 10. Can you coax your mind from its wandering and keep to the original oneness? Can you let your body become supple as a newborn child's? Can you cleanse your inner vision until you see nothing but the light? Can you love people and lead them without imposing your will? Can you deal with the most vital matters by letting events take their course? And can you step back from your own mind and thus understand all things? So, verse 10, let's see if we can squeeze out 5 points for choosing a romantic partner based on this verse. Number 1, emotional presence over performance. Look for someone who can return to center, who isn't always chasing, fixing, or projecting. Emotional presence is rarer than a well-lit selfie. One example I can give is the chasing. The Tao Te Ching says that hunting and the chasing maddens the mind. And I know we're all ambitious, or a lot of us are. I know everybody wants to be a best seller author. I know a lot of us want to make our first million before we're 30, and on it goes. But that chase, is meant for some people maybe. It is not necessarily healthy. There's something about living a simple life. Doesn't mean you don't have goals. Doesn't mean you don't want to accomplish certain things. I wrote several books. That was amazing. I got my advanced degree. That was amazing. And on I can go. But when my life is focused on the chasing, and when I pick a partner who is such, do not be shocked if you see that new relationship quickly unraveling because of the competition in their relationship between the partners. Just as one example. Number 2, embodying softness, not just saying sweet things. Do your potential partners embody gentleness, flexibility, and emotional maturity? Or are they emotionally constipated with a gym membership? So when I met my beloved Rachel and I saw the gentleness within her, how chill she was, how agreeable she was, looking back at my last relationship before that, the one that I ended up right before the pandemic, which unfortunately was my worst relationship, my most toxic relationship. That's not an insult to the other person. That's to say that I was the perfect partner for a narcissist, for a covert narcissist that she is. Again, I was the perfect partner for that. And when I met Rachel, I knew I must have done something right in the previous 18 months and in the many years before that I worked on myself, but took me some time to put all that wisdom together. There's something amazing about living within the context of an agreeable relationship, a flexible relationship where you do not sweat the small things. And you know what? People sometimes say to me about their failed relationships, you know what? I didn't know that. It took me years to find out. And then I always ask the same question because I'm fascinated by this. If you did look back, can you see certain red flags that maybe you chose to ignore? And I always get the same answer. I get a pause, and then they say, yeah, on second thought, they were quite aggressive on our first date. On second thought, when I proposed, they didn't like the ring, as if that's what matters, right? And on it goes. So find somebody gentle, find somebody flexible, find somebody who's emotionally mature. But before you can do that, are you such? If not, it's okay to work on ourselves. Number 3, inner clarity, not outer hype. Can they see you, or are they seeing their fantasy of you? A partner with inner vision sees your soul, not just your highlight reel. In this age of social media and everybody's trying to impress everybody, with my amazing lunch pictures, or with how amazing my kid is, or with how amazing the house we just bought, or the vacation we're doing, and now almost nobody is really sharing what was going on between those pictures that included in our highlight reel, that the fight that I had with my wife, the argument I had with my neighbor, the difficulty I'm experiencing with my child. Hey, that's just part of real life, right? Why hide it? But we gotta be perfect on social media, and that's normally what you see many times in during dating sessions, right? First date, second date, third date. Everybody's just trying to impress everybody. Time to relax. Time to look for somebody who's genuine, who's real. How do you know that? What do they share? What do they share? Do they share about their cool car? Do they share about how amazing their dog is, or their child is, or their job is, or their income is? Or do they tell you what they're passionate about? Do they tell you how much they want to take on a project, or took on a project of helping somebody is important to them, or a stranger? When I met Rachel, out of many things that I've noticed about her right away was, one, I barely saw any selfies on her Facebook account when I used to have a Facebook account. She had no selfies. It was mostly family pictures. She was mostly sharing about her ailing father, who later on passed away at the age of 80, 84. And you could see that that's what matters to her. Talking about her dad, showing pictures of her family, talking about the book that she wrote, but not from the point of bragging. I don't even think my Rachel can even have the capacity to brag. She was just sharing what she was passionate about. In her case, the right kind of leadership back then. So stay away from those who brag. Are you the kind of person who brags? Maybe something to work on, something to be said about humility and modesty. Number 4, supportive leadership, not control disguised as love. True love doesn't come with strings or ultimatums. It invites, it doesn't demand. Look for someone who uplifts without dominating. You'll see in those videos that I'm making here and sharing with you that I have tons of examples, and a lot of them are not the best, meaning not happy examples. But you know what? I learned so much from that. And you can't find and discern the good, your ultimate soulmate, unless you discern what didn't work in previous relationships. Very, very important point. It's not about venting. It's not about talking smack about my exes. It is about discerning what doesn't work. It doesn't work to be with a narcissist as a partner. It doesn't work if you're a narcissist or have narcissist proclivities. So when I was with my last ex, I remember I would try to do the right thing, help around the house, do the dishes. I would come back from work, and more times than not, I would get scolded. Hey, I know you washed the dishes, but I found a dirty plate in the cupboard. You didn't even bother to clean it properly. To hear that when you're trying to do the right thing is not uplifting. It's critical, maybe even sarcastic. Maybe they're putting you down. I know my ex was putting me down a lot. You know what was the problem with me in that regard? I was allowing it back then. That could never happen again, but for years and years, it was a blind spot for me. There's an amazing book that I read years ago, and it's called Don't Kill the Dog. Crazy name, I know, but really cool about the value of uplifting. And the book talks about how a lot of us, if not all of us, have this inclination to find what's wrong with people in our life. Maybe what's wrong with us. And we're going around in our life, going around our day, looking what's wrong. What did you do wrong? Hey, you didn't do the dishes properly. Hey, you didn't take out the trash. Hey, you said you're going to do this, you didn't do that. Or with our children, those of us who have children. And the book says, the conclusion of that book, the moral lesson of that book is switch. If you want really good relationships, if you want really good life filled with light and positivity, go around your day and find what people in your life are doing good, are doing well. Huge paradigm shift. Number 5, alignment with flow, not obsession with control. Are they your potential partners? Are they at peace with not having all the answers? A partner who can let life unfold with grace is a partner who won't panic when you don't text back in 5 minutes. Look for somebody who doesn't have a lot of attachments. They're not attached to you calling right back or texting right back. When that happens, me and Rachel happen to be the kind of people who usually return the text messages and calls right away. But occasionally my wife would mute her phone and would be, she's all about, I need to focus. Whether it's work or being present with our son, her stepson, or anything else, or just relaxing, right? I don't go barking at her when she finally returns my call and I said, "Hey, where were you? I was worried." That's the kind of stuff I used to get from some of my exes. Worried about what? What could possibly happen? When was the last time anything bad happens? But did you or did somebody in your life used to do that, still does that to you? You do it to them? The whole thing with, "Where were you? I couldn't hear. I didn't know what happened." What happened? Well, we live in a safe environment for the most part. Most of us. We're so blessed. So thank you for sticking around until here. Here are 3 promised practical dating tips from verse 10, from this verse. Before your next date, meditate on oneness. Ask, am I showing up whole or just hoping they'll complete me? And I'm going to do a whole other video on meditation and how it blessed my life, changed my whole life. Number 2, practice softness in your body and energy. Notice, am I bracing for rejection on date 1 or 2 or 3, or opening to connection? Just be positive about it, right? I mean, you can't control it anyway. 3, observe how they deal with uncertainty. Are they fluid like water or rigid like expired tofu? Rigidity doesn't work in love, doesn't work in raising children, doesn't work at work, right? Yes, we have rules, we have regulations that we need to abide by, but can I be flexible? Can I be positive? Versus, why didn't that thing happen? Why didn't that person do what I expected them to do every single time? Just chill out. If you laughed, felt seen, or just realized you've been dating the human version of a red flag carnival ride, then true lover, it's time to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Be Love Media. Your spiritual team and your future partner are cheering you on. Until next time, stay open, stay weird, and remember, just because someone gives you butterflies doesn't mean they're not a caterpillar in crisis. Peace and be love, true lovers.